So what I did, I asked Grayson to come outside and take a couple pictures. I just put them on my computer. You're going to put all of your photos onto your computer, open them up in Photoshop. If I were to click on each one of these, I tried to keep my hands still, but you'll see, even though I was stable, it's still a little bit off, but that's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all of this photo. I'm going to copy it. And then I'm going to go over here to this photo, and I'm going to paste it. I'm going to go to my layer window right here. I'm going to turn down the opacity. So 50% I can see through. And I can use my move tool on layer 1, the one that I just pasted right here, to line it up with something in the photo. So I'm gonna actually line it up with that corner right there. I'm even going to use the arrow keys to make small incremental changes. Now it's still a little rotated. You can see that the angle of the photo is a little bit off. So I'm going to go to Edit, Transform, and Rotate as well. I'm going to zoom out. When I rotate, I get the bounding box around the entire photo, and that's why I zoomed out, okay? I'm going to use my rotate tool to just slightly move the photo. And then again, use my move tool to line up that corner. Arrow keys as well. You won't get it perfect, but you should get somewhere nearby. And there it is. There's our effect. If I were to turn up the opacity right here, all the way to 100%, we can't see through it at all. I turn off this layer. Start to see that's much better of a lineup because I rotated it around, I moved it into the right spot. And now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut them out so that I can't see any of this background. Now, there's a couple ways that you could do that. You could use the pen tool, you could select, you could also just use the paintbrush. So I'm going to, why is my layer window so tall? I'm going to show you the paintbrush way. Now, the paintbrush way is I'm going to apply a layer mask to this top layer. And I'm going to paint on that layer mask with black. Remember, a layer mask hides things, and it uses black and white. So if I start to paint with black, let's make it a big brush, it'll hide this layer, right? What I'm essentially doing is I'm painting out the parts of the background until it's right there. Now I'm going to zoom in. See that I painted down here? I'm going to turn it to white, and I'm going to make the brush smaller. So I see more and more. There we go. Now, we have an issue because my image right here stops right there. Do you guys see that? What I'm going to do is, at the end of this, I'm just going to use the crop tool and get rid of that. And there it is. So that's how I'd like you guys to combine your photos. Is I'd like you to use the layer mask with your different layers, paintbrush, selections, whatever you're most comfortable with, but mesh these photos together. And if you had kept your cameras pretty stable, it should be an easy process, just like this. This is just 2 images right here. You only have 7. So you should be able to do that. Any questions? No? All right, when you're done, you're gonna save it as a Photoshop file the first time, because I want to be able to go back into your document and look at your layers. And I also want you to just save it as a JPEG. Okay, we're going to start this today. Some of you might finish before the end of the period, but this technically will be due on Monday at the middle of class. We have a Monday schedule next week, so we'll have time, but let's get started on it today. Okay, let's get to it.